right, guys, we got Skip here. We'll go right to questions. Alex.
Hey, Skip, I guess just starting off, what was your main takeaways from how Justin looked today and just how he's continued to extend himself in these longer starts?
Yeah, I thought he was really competitive in the zone, which is what we asked them to do and trust that defense behind. But I thought he set the tone early and was able to do a lot with the fastball, which is good. So, but we needed that out of him on a Sunday. I said it just recently that the tendency sometimes on Sunday is things get a little sloppy, or after 2 wins you get satisfied. And what I liked is that there was no satisfaction with a 2-game series win. That he set the tone for us on the mound. That we were in this one to get it all. So very solid performance by him. Not just the physical, but the mental piece of it, which I was very pleased with.
Jeff.
There were a lot of good things that happened here today. What kind of, if you were to pick 1 or 2 things that were the best of all this, what were they? Were they adding on the runs, or was it Justin, or what kind of stood out more above everything to you?
Well, I mean, the fact that we came out and jumped on them for 3 games, including today, it just, when you got a team down 2 games and none in the series, and you can come out and drop a 4 spot in the first, that definitely sets the tone for the rest of the weekend. But I would agree with you. We just kept saying if we can get 2 more runs, they're going to roll over and quit. So when we got those 4 into 6, then you start to feel pretty good about this one's probably over. So, but honestly, I like the way that we didn't settle in and get sloppy. We stayed sharp the entire way from every guy coming in. Justin's performance, even when we had the lead offensively. So I really like the way, just kind of the professional approach with how we played today.
Alex.
This game started to look a little similar to yesterday in the sense that you guys kind of jumped on them in the first inning, and then the bats went quiet for a little while until kind of put them away later. Did you get that sense that it was kind of unfolding similarly to yesterday, and what made a difference?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I just said. Whereas yesterday we were threatening, even when we weren't scoring. I felt like we were threatening a lot. There were a couple innings there, but it's baseball. I don't make too much out of that. Like, they're trying too. They give scholarships in that dugout too. And I thought our bats were good, and you're not going to score every inning. Impossible to do. So I thought we kept fighting and finally broke through with 7 to 6. So I don't know. I mean, that's not that. I don't think there's really a meter of getting on and then getting lazy a little bit. I mean, so I'm looking at the intent of the at bat, and as long as the intent of the at bat is good, you're eventually going to score. But sometimes you're not. You can do everything right and still not score. But I thought our intent for the most part, even in innings we weren't scoring, was pretty solid all weekend.
Hunter.
Hi, Tracy. When you mentioned Justin improving mentally, some of his struggles last year tended to fall on the command and the walk. Can you talk about the improvement that you've seen? And Jason Kelly mentioned that he tends to get a little excited sometimes on the mound. Can you talk about just how he's improved mentally when it comes to tightening that command a little bit?
Well, that's a focus that we want to do with our club. We've got a mental coach, and Scott Pelton, who works a lot with our team on the mental side of the game, and it's some guys buy into it and buy into that because that's a huge part of it. But the lessons and learn through that. It's not just we look at that all the time in athletics. It's not just the physical piece, and you pointed it out. Like that dude's a physical guy. So the improvements can come in a wide variety of ways. And when he's dialed in mentally, which he was, he's different. Because the physical, that's not a question. The guy throws, low to mid 90s. And so I give a lot of credit to Justin and his work, but, Scott Pelton and what he's been able to do and bring to our team on the mental side of it. So.
Alex.
What have been your thoughts about the left field competition? A few guys got some looks this weekend. And so who do you think's standing out there?
Well, it's still up. You saw it. That's one we got to nail down. I mean, honestly, but like everything else, like we're not gonna. You got to earn it. You got to compete and contribute, and we're looking for consistency, and it's a little bit of up and down. We feel we have some capable guys, and I understand too the difficulty sometimes of knowing when your name's not written in a lineup or going to the yard and you're not going to be in, you don't know if you're going to be in there or not. So I understand what comes with that, but the bottom line is, if the performance warrants it, someone is going to win that position. And up to this point, the inconsistency has led to our, I guess, having to keep trying, and we're going to keep giving opportunities to guys that deserve it, that have good practice, but also show some results. And I don't want to say that I wish we weren't in this position, because we're still using guys and they're playing and contributing, which is good to see. You involve a lot of guys, but at some point I would like to see somebody take that position and say it's mine and not give it back.
Anybody else?
All right. Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Drew Swift. Jeff, go ahead.
Drew, they only scored in 1 inning the entire weekend. I mean, just the pitching, the defense, what are you seeing out there to be able to dominate a team that much?
Yeah, it's incredible. Those pitchers are just doing such a great job out there, and just it's kind of taking the pressure off us as hitters. And so, I mean, us playing good defense is the least we can do for them. But no, I mean, they've been solid. We picked them up at times. They've picked us up at times. And so, I mean, that's just a great team right there. And so, I mean, we just look to keep on doing that. And yeah, that's it.
Kevin.
Drew, in your second to last at bat, when you struck out, you looked a little upset, and then the same thing in your last at bat. What was the mental adjustment you made before knocking that base hit to right field?
Yeah, I was kind of just in my head a little bit. After the first couple at bats, I was putting a little too much pressure on myself. So that last at bat, I thought there was a couple of questionable calls. So kind of stepped out, took my time, took a deep breath, and had good success that slider.
Alex.
Hey, Drew, what can you say about how you guys bounced back this series after a kind of difficult end to the Oregon series?
I think that's just how our team is. I mean, we just bounce back. We don't let anything get us too up, too down. And so, I mean, these guys are just competing every day, every pitch. And so it's a really fun team to be on. We just keep looking forward to doing the same things and keep competing.
Alex.
Are there any specific messages to maybe some of the younger guys going into an Arizona series?
Nothing more than just keep on doing what we're doing. I mean, they're just another Pac-12 team. And so, I mean, we just take our same game plan into them. And I feel confident at where we're at right now. And our guys are performing the way they need to. And so I think we're ready to go.
Anybody else? Alex.
Just quickly, how often do you guys meet with or work with Scott Pelton throughout the season?
Yeah, he's actually in here right now. We like to meet. We like to meet like once a week. We like to meet on Wednesdays, and it's just awesome to kind of recap on the weekend. And so we kind of just go over things that we can improve on and things that we did well. And so it's a really easy thing that we do, and kind of get stuff off our minds. And so he's been awesome for our program, and he's helped the young guys out a bunch, and even myself.
Anybody else? All right.
You got it.
Skip drop that in
there. Yeah, you're gonna have to get up here.
Yeah, you are.
Thanks, sir.
Good job, man.
All right.
Later.
We got Joe Lampy here. Questions? Jeff, go ahead.
Joe, can you just sort of recap this weekend? Because, they scored in 1 inning, and, I know you guys had to come back yesterday, but pretty much you dominated the whole weekend. Just what was it feeling like for you guys over this 3-game stretch here?
Yeah, I think the reoccurring theme is our pitching staff. Our pitching staff's really strong. We got a bunch of guys that are hungry, and they're taking advantage of every opportunity. For example, Thornton bouncing back after a tough Saturday game at Oregon. Justin Fall stepping into his role, doing way more than he usually does, which is great. I expect nothing less from him, though. He works really hard. I'm grateful that these guys are on my side and we're going to battle every day together.
Alex.
Hey, Joe, is there any sort of mental adjustment in leading off sort of the game for you guys versus, kind of being the rollover on the 9-hole?
I think it's really similar to the 9-hole leading off. The only difference really is me sprinting in from center field to start the game and getting ready really quick. But it's the same goal, just get on base for guys like Swift, guys like Hunter Jump, and McLean, who's on fire right now. But just I need to get on base so I can use my speed to score and help this team win games.
Anybody else? Jeff, go ahead.
Friday, you were able to add on to the big start, the fast start. Yesterday, you didn't do that, and it almost cost you. So in those couple of innings when you didn't score, was that kind of a priority to make sure that, by the 6th or 7th, somewhere in there, you were able to add on?
Yeah, Coach Mike did a great job in our pregame talking about how we can't let up. And that's pretty much the reoccurring theme for both sides of the ball is we want to go be locked in for the whole game because we don't have that much room for error. And I think if we can do that every single pitch, every single inning, we're going to be really good in the long run.
Alex.
Is there any sort of extra anticipation for your first series against Arizona?
Nope, just another game.
Anybody else? Cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys, got Justin Fall here. Questions? Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, congratulations. You think this might have been your best performance since you've been at ASU, and just maybe talk a little bit about what was going right for you out there?
Yeah, I think I did pretty well today. I mean, I did a lot of preparation throughout the week, bouncing back from that Oregon start. Felt good going into today, and I think if you just prepare the right way, good results are going to happen. So it's definitely a good feeling to go out there and pitch well and get the sweep.
Alex.
Hey, Justin, what were some of the adjustments made in between last week's start and going into today?
I think the big emphasis was just throwing my changeup more. It was a pitch I didn't really throw much over the quarantine and in the fall, just because I was more of a reliever. So it was more of the fastball slider combo. But yeah, I think especially in the pack, keeping hitters off balance, and it's a good pitch for me, and I feel comfortable with it. And JK likes it, so I think we're gonna let it ride.
Alex.
Your command today was great, and this year's season has seemed to have been an improvement over last year. What can you sort of attribute that to?
I think it's just not being okay with walking guys. It's just a big emphasis for me. I know I walked that one guy today, and it was probably the most pissed I've been in a long time. I just expect good results, and I expect excellence out of myself. And I know the coaches and the guys behind me look for me to provide that leadership and throw pitches in the zone. So I just take pride in that. So.
Jeff.
How did you feel with the number of pitches you threw today? And do you think you're well on your way now to getting stretched out, maybe for even trying to throw a complete game at some point?
Yeah, I was ready to go as long as they needed me. I feel comfortable, feel healthy. And like I said, my preparation throughout the week to go out there and throw as many innings as they want, I feel comfortable doing that. So.
Anyone else? You good?
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, J-Ball.